Gonna be 5-0 after this unless something weird happens. Let's do this. Unclaimed territory, naming humans, Ether Vial, round 5. Let's go. Cavernous Souls, Vial here for Rosum. So this matchup, flying's going to matter. I played this deck a bunch over the holidays. Didn't play against the mirror once, though. So flying's going to matter. Reflector Mage is going to matter.
Big time. And neither of these players have the Mayor, right? The Mayor's been cut?
Yeah, Mayor is basically gone from this deck at this point. You got Lieutenant, 4 copies, and Phantasmal Image. Some players play 4. Zan's got 3. Rosum's got 4.
Because in the abstract, I would guess that Mayor would be the best card in the mirror match.
Could be really good.
It's just size on the battlefield, and that's
It could be really good. Champion of the Parish is going to go through the Vial. Horizon Canopy comes down. Zan's going to fall down to 19, deciding what he wants to cast. Their deck lists look very similar, but also there's not like a lot of differences in humans' deck lists nowadays. Actually, the main difference between their main decks is, if I'm getting this correctly, Rosum has 4 Phantasmal Image and 1 Dark Confidant. Syed has 3 Phantasmal Image and 2 Dark Confidant.
Okay.
Nice. Here comes Meddling Mage. Chris Pakula, everybody.
There's nothing to name. There's a Vial.
Seems a bit strong. You can name nothing.
You can name Phantasmal Image. He's got 4. You've only got the 3.
Yeah. Well, when we get confirmation of what Zan's naming, we will let you know at home. Hopefully our handy-dandy spotter will tell us. We're going to go over to Rosum here in just a moment. Yes, we do. He's going to name Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Surprised Thalia. Huh. I guess First Strike?
Well, you would just name whatever you think the card he is most likely to cast next turn that doesn't interfere with anything you're doing would be the card to name. That's why he went in. That's why he was thinking for so long, because it's that's the issue there.
Meddling Mage.
That's the consideration.
See, it's a mirror match, so they're both going to do the same thing. We'll see what Rosum's going to name Reflector Mage.
Good choice.
Yeah, that's a good choice, because that's a really good Magic card. I know this is going to shock you, but when I was testing this deck, you know what card was really good?
Reflector Mage.
Yeah, it was still awesome.
It's still awesome.
It's still awesome in an old format, or at least older format. What a nonsense card.
Oh, yeah. That one is questionable.
The first time I bounced a Wormcoil Engine, I'm like, I can't lose. And this cannot be fun for my opponent at all. Here's another Vial. Don't want to draw 2 of those. It's not ideal.
Although Vial on 3, Vial on 2 gives you a lot of play inside of combat.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. Here comes Champion of the Parish and Meddling Mage with a Vial on 2, so you got to be a little wary of something like a Thalia's Lieutenant coming through. We'll see if Rosum wants to do any blocking at all. Oh, there's a Thalia that's going to come through. So you get it, you name it Meddling Mage, but you put it through.
Yeah, you're not actually casting it. You are putting it from your hand onto the battlefield.
Nailed it.
Different thing.
Nailed it. That's nice. Which means Champion of the Parish is going to turn into a 3/3. You see Rosum's hand. He has a Phantasmal Image, Mantis Rider, Kitesail, Free Buddha. And now he's untapping. Vial up to 2 for Jonathan. Going to match Zan's. Looks like a Cavernous Souls was the draw. Different artwork on this one, but works all the same. Jonathan has a question. Jonathan no longer has a question. Wondering how that Thalia got on the battlefield. Through the Vial. You get it? It's okay, it's early.
Yep.
It's only 3:01 p.m. here. It's pretty early in the day. There's a Mantis Rider. trigger because it's a human. Synergy with Champion of the Parish. I see it all.
Yeah.
I see it all.
We have the argument quite frequently at work. Is this synergy or is this just what the cards do? Champion of the Parish, Mantis Rider, is that a synergy or is that just
That's just
what the cards do?
That's just what the cards do. Yeah. That's just how they work. Now Rosum does have Phantasmal Image in hand, and I think he's thinking, should I Phantasmal Image my Mantis Rider and just go to the skies, which is actually kind of a line that I like.
Yeah, the question is if you're trying to get him in combat or not.
Ooh, I like that. I love this. Oh. 2/2 into a 2/1 first striker. I am in heaven.
It's good. Aggressive.
I would snap him off.
Oh, of course.
And I would be wrong because he has Thais Lieutenant in hand, but I would snap him off. It's a cautious attack, too. So this attack is all predicated on body language. He was like a little cautious coming in, daring him to block. I don't think Zan will, though. I still love it, though. Ooh, now Zan maybe he's weighing the idea of blocking.
Well, there's the question here of if he has Lieutenant, is this just so much damage anyway that if I go no blocks, I'm dead? So it might be a spot where you call because if what he is representing is actually there, you're beat anyway.
It's true. It's true. Activation. Lieutenant. 2 counters are going to go on the Champion of the Parish. 1 from Lieutenant, 1 from Champion. 1 on Mantis Rider, 1 on Meddling Mage.
This is 12 by my count?
It's a lot of damage. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's 12. Your count's good. Humans can deal a lot quickly.
Yeah.
It's one of the things about this deck.
Particularly with Vial. The deck can be a little bit on the cumbersome side without it, but it plays very well at instant speed, and it has a lot of 2s and 3s to deploy, so Vial is just the perfect fit.
Yeah. It's important when you're playing with humans that you start the game with one of your 1-drops, be it Vial or Noble Hierarch. It's weird, like in some matchups, Champion of the Parish should actually third on that list, because you just want to be able to play multiple spells in one turn.
Yeah, but your hands that are just a curve of creatures and no ones, even if they look like fine hands, are typically mulligans.
Yes. Especially on the draw.
Right. They look like hands that are fine, but the problem is that your opponent is playing cards.
Right.
And those hands are not good enough to be an opponent who is playing cards.
Right, that's a thing. Sometimes they play cards,
Yeah. Often, in fact.
Zan is going to sacrifice Horizon Canopy to draw a card. Didn't get a great look at it, unfortunately. Well, he's got a new card in his hand. I know he's got a Reflector Mage there. That's an important one. But his battlefield is worse than Jonathan's because Lieutenant is so important in this matchup.
And he's behind on the damage race, and he's losing in the air.
Yep.
So pretty much every front that the game can be played on here, Rosum's ahead.
Rosum, no interested in blocking. He'll just take the 3 from the Champion. He's going to fall down to 12, use his life total as a resource. We'll go back over to Rosum. He'll untap, see if that Vial's going to go up to 3 or not. He'll survey the battlefield, and he's happy to leave it at 2. Doesn't even touch the Vial. He drew another copy of Thais Lieutenant.
And I think with Phantasmal Image in hand, that's a pretty powerful incentive to leave at 2. Both because you can copy your own stuff for various reasons, and with Syed behind on the table, the top concern you would have to have is Reflector Mage, and that's a nice one to copy.
Thais Lieutenant. That's going to resolve. These humans have just gotten larger. Something they oftentimes do.
Now you can just move into combat with your Vial still at 2. Phantasmal Image ready to copy a lieutenant or a reflector mage should Syed present one.
Ooh, that's nice. I didn't even think about that. I imagine he is, well, he's going to have to present one. That's the best thing you can do with a Vial on 3. And a Vial on 1 is irrelevant.
This is a lethal attack through the 2 blockers.
Yep.
So Syed needs to do something before we get to damage.
Mm-hmm. All right. Activate there. There's Reflector Mage. Sure. He's going to grow that Champion of the Parish, of course, because a human did enter the battlefield. All right, so Mantis Rider will go back to the grip.
And Rosum might still say, all right, go ahead and block.
Yeah, it's fine. Just decimate your battlefield. I mean, at the very least, you're going to have to block the Champion of the Parish. Know that. Syed's going to pick up those creatures, figure out what he wants to do some blocking with. Remember that Meddling Mage that Zan has is naming Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, which he put on the battlefield through an Aether Vial. The Meddling Mage that Jonathan Rosum has, that's naming Reflector Mage, which Zan put in through the Vial. Classic. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of double blocking here. This probably ends up poorly. 2-3 and a 2-2 on a 4-4, which means copying Thalia's Lieutenant is good here.
Oh, yeah.
Don't actually need to copy Reflector Mage. I'll tell you what, Phantasmal Image in this deck is busted, by the way.
A lot of good stuff to copy.
Yeah. It is busted. You're happy to copy Freebooters, Lieutenants, Mantis Riders, Reflector Mages, and heaven forbid your opponent actually has something good to copy.
Yeah, Phantasmal Image works good on a number of fronts. One is you have a lot of good stuff to copy, and the other is so much of what your deck does is trigger on entering the battlefield that even if they have an answer for the Phantasmal Image, is not that big of a deal. You're usually getting something good coming in or going out.
We'll go over to Zan, whose battlefield has been decimated. 3 and 2 on the Vials, which sure, he finally got there, but might be a little too late, like JoJo likes to say. You don't know JoJo. It's okay.
I don't know, JoJo.
You don't know JoJo.
And Jacob Merkel, please report to the site registration stage.
Remember that Syed knows about the Mantis Rider as well, which can be either vialed or cast next turn.
Mm-hmm. Might be a problem. Maybe. We got any invocations out there? No?
Nope.
Okay. Just doing a check. Trying to win my bingo here. No turn 3 win yet either. Still disappointing. And Zan said, I can't win. I can't win.
Can't win.
Jonathan Rosum going to win again everyone over Zan Syed. Human Mirror goes to your player on the left to start things. Again, keep in mind, these players have very similar deck lists. For Rosum, the only difference, he has 4 Phantasmal Image, 1 Dark Confidant, whereas Zan has 3 and 2 Dark Confidant. And we'll get to the sideboard in just a bit. You see these 2 players. Same team, Lotus Box. But in the meantime, we got to get ready for some messages from our sponsors. So we are going to get prepared to move that way right now. Game number 2 about to be underway here between Jonathan Rosum and Zan Syed. So we'll take a look at the sideboards here for both players. We'll see how those do line up. Zan Syed's going to be on the play for game number 2. Both these players playing humans. I mentioned, it looks like there are some differences in the sideboard. So 2 Dismember, 2 Graph Trigger's Cage, 2 Gaddock Teague, 2 Izzet Staticaster, 2 Sin Collector, 2 Vithian Renegades, and then Offense of the Foremost, the Mirran Crusader, and a Magus of the Moon for Zan. What do you like there?
I like the 2 copies of Dismember and maybe the Mirran Crusader.
That's really about it.
Yeah.
Maybe Staticaster is probably just too slow, I guess.
Yeah, well, the Thalia's Lieutenant is doing something right away and also gets to a 2-2 very easily. And then it's not Championing the Parish. That grows way too fast. There's no Mayor of Averbrook. So
Okay.
Maybe you bring it in. Maybe you have cards that are worse. Maybe the Meddling Mages are so bad.
I think they're pretty bad.
But it's possible just a 2-2 for 2 is better than the Staticaster.
The sideboard here for Jonathan Rosum is the exact same. The only difference is the Magus of the Moon's not there. There's Dark Confidant in the sideboard that is not listed. That is it. So I don't know if you want an additional copy of Dark Confidant or not.
Yeah, I think Dark Confidant's probably fine here.
Yeah.
I don't know. The 2 Dismembers can come in, whatever. If you're worried about Dark Confidant, certainly that's more of an argument for the Staticasters coming in from both sides as well.
All right, fair enough.
But the games might just be over so fast that the card advantage from Dark Confidant isn't very good here.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think Dark Confidant is probably fine on the play and not good on the draw.
Yeah. So I think it'll be really light. Only the Dismembers seem straightforward and easy to bring in.
So I know that you and I, when we did our Fact or Fiction that went live on Friday over on StarCityGames.com, I had a question about if Humans is still a Tier 1 deck, and you feel as though it is.
I think deck's very good.
Yeah.
I think the metagame's gotten worse for it, in the last couple months. There's less Storm, then, more sweepers, more big mana, more decks with like a lot of spot removal. But I think the deck's still very powerful. Wouldn't be my top choice for playing an event, but I respect it as a choice. These 2 are here at 4-0.
When you get paired against this deck playing Burn, do you normally win or lose? I know it felt close.
I found the matchup to be close but good, and it would not be good if I did not have Lavamancer's main and 4 more searing effects on the board.
Okay.
Like, you need all of it for the matchup to be good, but with all of it, I think the matchup is good.
Okay. Because you can kill like all their stuff.
Yeah,
I could see that.
But game 1, the deck actually isn't very good at killing creatures early on in the game because your burn is 2 mana or a lot of its lava spikes. So you can actually they have draws where they can actually freeboot or Meddling Mage you out of games.
Oh, for sure.
That is part of. You have Grim Lavamancer though. It's very hard for that to happen.
So they don't have a great answer to that card.
Not really. I mean, they can, if they have an Aether Vial, they can try to set up shop, and they have a couple creatures that are big enough, and they have Reflector Mage. But if you have a draw plus Grim Lavamancer, it's very hard on them.
There's a Noble Hierarch. Of course, Unclaimed Territory, naming humans. Unclaimed Territory, naming human. 2 Noble Hierarchs. These guys really are playing a mirror. Tell you what. Teammates, same sideboard basically.
Same shirt.
Yep. There's Dark Confidant. All right, we said it'd be all right on the play. And a Vial.
It looks like Zan has brought in his Staticaster. But I believe Staticaster says the same name, so if you were to shoot that hierarchy, you would lose your own. Staticaster would be really powerful from Rosum right now.
It'd be great from Rosum. Kill Dark Confidant. Be awesome. There's an Ancient Ziggurat. And now there's Mantis Rider. In for 4 in the air. 3+ Exalted? What?
Oh, for those of you, your bingo boards at home, last game, you got player draws a card off of Horizon Canopy.
You
Taking
did.
care of it.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's
Did you
me.
stamp that already?
I did.
Attaboy. Team Patrick has 4. Team Cedric has a lot more than 4. 9. 9. Feeling pretty good about things right now. Still waiting for that invocation, though.
Did Syed bring in his copies of Vithian Renegades?
That would be weird. There's only Vial to kill?
Well, you have freebooters and meddling mages, right? So you got some wiggle room to bring in some fringe
Yeah, I guess
cards.
you have the ability to bring in some. Yeah, fringe is a good way to put it. Okay. So here's Phantasmal Image, going to copy Mantis Rider, and now 2 Exalted Triggers means that the Mantis Rider for Zan Syed will attack for 5. All right. When Dark Confidant reveal? Don't remember? Anybody at home?
Reveal to 1, because Syed's at 15.
Perfect. Not a land. Got it.
Let's call it Noble Hierarch.
Okay. I missed it. I missed it. Another Noble Hierarch. Another Mantis Rider in hand, too. Okay. I play Zathra Necromancer. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little one-of that these human decks play in the sideboard. Pretty good card, actually. That's in. And in for 5 in the air. So Zan's going to fall down to 10. Obviously no interest in blocking. So we're going to see if the card advantage here from Dark Confidant can do anything. Well, Syed going to untap. Vial will be going up to 2 in a moment. Thalia's Lieutenant is going to bring Zan Syed down to 8.
It's a good hit.
Cavernous Souls, the normal draw. There's Cavernous Souls. Looks
And
like. Go ahead.
So normally in these kind of matchups, you've got to be mindful of what does combat look like as my opponent getting me to 0. So he's in a spot now where he has to be worried about going to 3 or 2 or 1 because of his Dark Confidant, which makes the math so much trickier here.
That's true. All right, so here's Lieutenant. That'll trigger.
I'm curious if the line here is play my Lieutenant and then play the Staticaster, because then you don't care about the then it's very good to get rid of the Hierarchs,
Okay.
because you aren't losing your Hierarchs on the way back.
You do give Rosum the zombies
For sure.
from the Necromancer, but you do take away the Exalted triggers, which is actually pretty good.
And then if your Mantis Rider is able to block off Rosum's Mantis Rider, your
Yep.
Phantasmal Image Mantis Rider,
Yep.
you're really ahead on the table.
So Rosum's going to fall down to 9.
And you can do this in the upkeep if you want to also, because it's not like this deck plays with any instance.
Yeah.
And then you put Summoning Sickness on the zombies that are getting generated.
Yeah. Yep, this is everything that Zan's going to do. He's going to play this Staticaster in the upkeep, kill the Noble Hierarch. Zombies enter the battlefield tapped from Xanthan Necromancer. Champion of the Paris the draw there.
And now you have a 4/4 against a 3/3
Yep.
and a commanding position besides.
Yeah, this
So-
position's really good for Zan. He's also got that Vial on too that could sneak something in too.
And Zan elected to cast the Lieutenant, so
Ah, yes, right.
representing something big.
Champion of the Parish now. Follow-up is another Mantis Rider, I believe. Yes. Champion of the Parish will get a little bit bigger. Attack for 6 in the air.
Well, there's going to be a block
I
here.
will block one of these, yeah.
I think Rosum, I like this attack a lot from Rosum. He's just got to hope the Confidant kills Syed. You get him for 3 points this turn. You don't die on the way back, so you get 2 Confidant activations, and maybe you steal it that way.
Well, we got to see what the first one's going to be. There's also that Ether Vial that he might bring up. Ancient Ziggurat.
That might close the door here for Rosum. I think he needed 2 turns of Confidant hitting something big to win this game.
3 and a 2 would have certainly helped. A lot of 3-mana spells, especially after sideboard for Zan Syed. But he did not find one there. Dark Confidant revealed a land. Hit me! Hit me, bingo board. If a fetch land finds a Dryad Arbor, I also win bingo. Just so you know. It's a big deal.
Gonna be hard for me to fade that for a weekend.
I don't know, not a lot of decks do that. I think it's more likely the Invocation than Dryad Arbor, honestly.
Remember, we're looking at 6 attackers potentially against 3 blockers. So Syed here trying to figure out, can he finish off the game this turn? Rosum with no Aether Vial, so the shields are down.
Well, there's the Renegade. This is going to blow up this Vial. Got to make Lieutenant a little bit bigger. Looks a little weird on the surface.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Rosum doesn't have a Vial in his hand at this point, so whatever.
So 3. So there's 3 blockers. Rosum's at 9. Yeah, I don't think it depends if he's like a Reflector or not. Oh, he drew both Renegades this game? Okay. That was going to be a problem.
Going off.
Yeah. The definition of it.
Yeah.
Right there. Remember, the phantasmal image over there for Zan Syed is a Mantis Rider with a +1/+1 counter on it, so it's a 4/4 flyer with haste and vigilance.
Now, keep in mind, there is some incentive for Syed to try to get the game over with this turn, because if Rosum draws a flyer, another Mantis Rider specifically, I don't think anything that Syed can do to prevent himself from taking a hit from one of the Mantis Riders, and then you can lose to your own Dark Confidant.
Okay. Champion's going to jump in front of the Lieutenant since it's a small champion. You also get a zombie token from this, of course. It's a human. And Zathar Necromancer is going to provide the zombie.
So Syed trying as hard as he can here to protect his own life total, and you see he leaves back a lot. And his hope here is that that Rosum does not draw another Mantis Rider, and then he's in the clear. If Rosum makes any sort of attack on the ground, then you just throw your Confidant in front of something and you don't have to worry about it.
I think Rosum may have just drawn Thalia's Lieutenant.
Thalia's Lieutenant's not a bad draw here, even though much of Rosum's board is for zombies. Because getting the Mantis Rider up to a 4/4,
it's pretty good.
Then forces the trade on the other side, and now the ground's kind of sticky. The game's a little locked up, and Syed has a Dark Confidant at 5. If you can get that Phantasmal image off the table, you've still got a shot here.
We'll see what Meddling Mage is going to name here. I'm going to lean towards Reflector Mage.
Yeah, I mean, neither player has a Vial at this point, so it's just, what's the card you can't beat?
Yeah. Rosum's got to figure out what he wants to name.
But Rosum really needs either a Thalia's Lieutenant or, I guess Noble Hierarch wouldn't work because Syed could shoot it down before Khan.
It names Thalia's Lieutenant, so it looks like Rosum did not draw Thalia's Lieutenant. Horizon Canopy, the reveal. Jonathan's like, come on, man. Help me out here.
Yeah,
I wanted to kill you.
Rosum knows what he needs.
He's not getting it so far, though. Zan will sacrifice Horizon Canopy and draw a new card. Another Mantis Rider's pretty good. That'll grow Lieutenant.
And I think this is the check mark for Syed. I think once the other Manus Rider is off the battlefield, once Rosum's Manus Rider is off the battlefield, I think the door is closed.
Okay.
There's no single kill with the Dark Confidant in Syed's deck. He has the air covered with his Manus Rider should Rosum draw one copy of his own. And I don't know what other factors there are here. Rosum can't get through any points. He dies in the air next turn.
So this is interesting. Rosum drew is a static caster. So depending, Horizon Canopy the reveal. Depending on how Zan attacks, we could see another turn. Because if Zan attacks with both Manus Riders, he just ping the Phantasmal Imaged one.
Right.
If he just says attack with the actual Mantis Rider, not Phantasmal Imaged one, and get my 2 triggers, the game is over. Will he see that? That's a different question entirely. Here's Reflector Mage. And about Xanther Necromancer. Okay. This will be a fun test, actually.
I mean, Syed, they know each other's deck lists.
Yeah.
You can work it out from here.
Mm-hmm. If he attacks with just the lone Mantis Rider. Okay, so now Rosum's going to get an extra turn. Yep, shoot that. So it's weird. He kind of felt like he saw that coming a little bit.
I still think Syed's in the clear here.
I think he's doing fine. I mean, there's the potential for
Although
Rosum to draw a Reflector Mage now.
Or his own Manus Rider would force a trade.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. He's going to die. So Zan Syed's going to win game number 2 here over Jonathan Rosum. Humans are all tied up. Look at these guys. Same shirt, same deck, same record. All of it. Number 3 and number 6 on the SCG Tour leaderboard.
So changing my opinion about the static caster, I'd not consider the Phantasmal Image implications.
Sure,
Both
sure.
players should definitely have it.
All right, well, they both do. They're both going to shuffle up in sideboard here for game number 3, and while they do that, we're going to get ready for a few messages from our sponsors. So let me ask you this question. Xanther Necromancer didn't do much that game.
Yeah, and so it may just come down to, and we saw it with Syed having his Renegades there. It might just be that Meddling Mage and Freebooter are so bad. Freebooter definitely. Maybe not Meddling Mage because a 2/2 human for 2 might be above the board with the tribal implications.
Mm-hmm.
But because you have those 8 cards that do almost nothing, you have room to bring in some more speculative sideboard cards.
It's fair.
I'm not a big believer in the Xanther Necromancer because I just don't think the games don't seem to break that way. It's less about value and more about who's bigger on the battlefield and who has a flyer.
Yeah, because those 2/2s, they
Didn't
were irrelevant.
didn't do anything.
Yeah, completely irrelevant. Ground got gummed up. Zan had the bigger creatures.
The zombies don't play with any of the tribal stuff.
Yep.
So it's probably, I'm guessing, not very good in the matchup, but is it better than Freebooter? Is it better than Meddling Mage?
I kind of like Freebooter. I don't know. Like I'll take any flyer. Honestly.
That is taking any flyer.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great, but like I'll take a flyer. That's what that game came down to. Gumming up the ground's pretty easy, and even like a card like Mirror Crusader, you know, Double Strike is great and all that stuff. You can chump block it for days.
Yeah. No, I don't think Mirror Crusader is the answer.
I mean, no one loves a 2-mana 1/2 flyer, trust me, but you can make into a 2/3. Little Exalted Help, make into a 3/4 maybe. Oh, that's a tough start. Well, he's got Vial.
No, it's not.
Yeah, never mind.
He's fine.
Down to 19 goes Rosum from the Horizon Canopy.
And the Horizon Canopy here, indicator that Rosum's on a 1-lander or only has Horizon Canopies to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate the mana. The first time that I saw this deck in action in the hands of Collins Mullen, he had like 2 fetch lands and a Hallowed Fountain and something, and I just thought that has to be nonsense. There's
that got fixed fast.
There's no reason that has to be like that.
Yeah.
The mana base here on Rosum's side, 4 Ancient Ziggurat, 4 Cavern of Souls, 4 Unclaimed Territory, 4 Horizon Canopy, 2 Sea Chrome Coast, and a Plains. I buy that. That looks right to me.
Yeah.
1 basic for Path, and Sea Chrome Coast seems like a natural card to have here.
It's pretty free.
Yeah.
Only 19 lands in the deck. Makes it so you don't flood very much. Horizon Canopy helps mitigate flooding too. Hey, you can't forget Cavern of Souls. You do play against decks with counter spells. Champion of the Parish. All right.
Although I'm curious, Sea Chrome Coast versus Razorford's Thicket, because Razorford's Thicket casts all your 1s.
It's true.
So I don't know, but there isn't 2 Windswept Heaths, a Hallowed Fountain, and a Temple Garden like last time.
Yeah, that's done.
That's obviously not correct.
Champion of the Parish. Cavern of Souls going to name Human most likely. Could name Illusion, but for now, we're tapping and we're casting Dark Confidant. Pass turn back. Good on the play, not so great on the draw. You saw it on the play from Syed. You see it on the play here from Jonathan Rosum in game number 3. I think part of the reason that they play Sea Chrome Coast is so they can hard cast Phantasmal Image.
Sure.
Because your lands generally name Human.
That makes sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe if you weren't playing Phantasmal Image, it would be Razorford's Thicket.
Here's Noble Hierarch, going to pump up these champions. One's a 3/3, another one's a 2/2. This one's going to attack for 4, thanks to that Exalted Trigger.
I guess 16 of your 19 lands cast Noble Hierarch on turn 1, so you don't need to make a big concession to your mana base to lock that up. That's fine.
Rosum going to reveal an Ancient Ziggurat. Where's that vial going to go, my friend? Up to 2. That's where it's going to go. Draw a card. Horizon Canopy. Maybe a few too many lands in hand for Jonathan right now. Ziggurat was the reveal. Canopy was the draw. He's got Vithian Renegades with no artifact to blow up except his own. Another Noble Hierarch. Actually, his first Noble Hierarch in hand, which is fine. He doesn't have his power cards in the matchup thus far, like Mantis Rider or Reflector Mage. So he is considering sacrificing his Canopy, and he will. Now there's a Reflector Mage. That's a little bit better. Ancient Z. Noble Hierarch. Trigger the Champion of the Parish. He remembers it. He's a smart kid after all. 3/3 champion. Could be attacking for 4, much like Syed did last turn. And here it comes. Now, that Dark Confidant, Patrick, that might be on chump blocking duty relatively soon. We'll see.
Could be. With Vial in play, though, the Confidant's so much better because you have all the mana in the world to work with. But yeah, I don't think Rosum wants to take a big hit here, leave the Confidant in play when he's not particularly close to killing Syed.
Now, Rosum does have a copy of Phantasmal Image in hand. Here is Reflector Mage. It's going to bounce Champion of the Parish. Okay. Here come the champions. And I am loving this turn here for Jonathan Rosum now, because he is going to play a Phantasmal Image. It's going to copy Reflector Mage. It's going to bounce a bigger champion. He's going to double block that 3/3 champion, I think. Wow, he's going to take. I would have loved a double block there. What about you?
He may want to race if he's got a lieutenant or looks like he has his own Reflector Mage to race here.
I'm a little surprised. Noble Hierarch the reveal. Get both the champions off the battlefield. Then he's got to make a choice on if he wants to let you keep the Confidant or not.
Yeah, he's going to let you keep the Confidant.
Sure.
You might have to race a little bit here, keep your battlefield presence, and then use the Reflector Mages to keep Syed from cracking back, because you are under the gun a little bit here. If you can't force a block where you lose your own Dark Confidant, you've got to close the game out pretty quickly. He's at 10, you know. It's
I don't know how I feel about 15 Renegades after sideboard. They look rough.
I don't know if you're, turn 1 Hierarch and you get their Vial.
Well, that's the nuts.
I still think it's mostly a function of having the bad cards in the main deck. I don't think the Renegades are particularly good here. I don't think either player would say, I really like Renegades in the matchup. It's just better than Grizzly Bears.
That's fair.
Better than Bird Maiden.
That's fair. Confidant gonna
Stormcrow, I guess, is the Stormcrow 1-1 or 1-2? I don't know. Whatever.
I think Stormcrow's 1-2. I know that Mr. Holt, Nate Holt, he knows.
It's got a fan following.
Yeah.
Bird Maiden's 3 mana.
Oh wow, that sounds like a stinker.
Wasn't good.
Yeah.
I don't know. What, you know?
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. Confidant came across there for 4 thanks to 2 Exalted triggers. Here's Champion of the Parish. We'll cast that one now. Reflector Mage, a little delay is over.
Also, what we've been seeing here, I think in games 2 and 3, and part of the justification for Vithian Renegades, if one player has Vial and the other doesn't, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, it does kind of feel that way.
It's
to
just
be fair. Yeah.
The mana advantage is too big, and so many of these cards play so well at instant speed that I think it's very hard to compete.
A Vial. Reflector Mage.
I like that in this spot.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Make sure we get that check out to you for this show.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's pretty good.
It's gonna be, a number of things are going on here.
It's gonna bounce that.
It's gonna bounce that. It's gonna put a creature on Rosum's side of the battlefield.
Yep.
It's gonna delay being replayed.
That's just good.
And then when the champions reset, it takes us some amount of time for it to get large again. And with Rosum cutting turns out of the game, it may not be a good investment for Syed to replay the card.
Yeah.
So
that all just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It all just makes sense.
I also accept cash.
Oh, yeah. Cash rules everything around me. Renegade's the reveal.
There is the Renegade.
Values Lieutenant the draw.
That is why closing this game out quickly is still, Rosum's got a great presence on the battlefield. He's far ahead, but you've got to convert it kind of fast because you could still lose your own Confidant here.
It's a 19 land deck too. You're not going to reveal lands much.
And also, there's nothing in the air on Rosum's side of the table, so he's also vulnerable to Manus Rider.
True. Got to be careful here. Got to be careful. There's the Lieutenant. Now the battlefield's starting to get a little clunky. Rosum's starting to build a pretty good battlefield here. So much, in fact, that we might actually be able to see him start attacking with Dark Confidant. Now, Lieutenant's triggers on the stack. So we're going to see Static Caster, it looks like. I'm curious what it's going to target.
I think Rosum's leftovers here are just the Vithian Renegades in his hand, plus a Dismember.
Yep.
So Syed here is still drawing to Manus Rider as a way to get out of this game.
3 mana Renegades.
Assuming that he doesn't die this turn.
Yep. That's going to save the champ. Everybody gets counter. You get a counter. You get a counter. You get a counter. You get a counter.
But I think Syed can chump block out of this turn.
I think Zan gets to play at least one more turn, maybe 2.
So he keeps the Noble Hierarch around, and that's why I think he had to shoot down the champion there. He needs the Exalted trigger, so he can draw Manus Rider, hit for 4, and then have the Dark Confidant flip over to 3.
Okay, that's the big plan.
I think that's the reason.
Well, it's good to have a plan. Yeah, I like don't kill that Phantasmal Image. Let Static Caster take care of that nonsense. Next turn, assuming you get one. Here's your double block. Take 2, 3, 6. Go down to 6. Champion down. You can keep your Reflector Mage.
So it's long odds here, but as bad as this game has gone for Syed, he is drawing live.
Hey, play to win. Draw a card. Didn't get a great look. Champion of the Parish. 3 mana. What is it? Reflector Mage.
And Rosum there, a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Reflector Mage, I'm probably fine. Maybe that's worth a turn. But he knows Manus Rider is the way that he gets punked out of this game.
Yep. Would it have been a 3 from the Dark Confident? Now I'm interested.
Well, the game's going on.
Yeah, we're gonna find out in just a sec.
And Rosum, I don't think it's gonna be tough for him to get to lethal this turn.
Horizon Canopy, faded it. Unclaimed territory, the draw. Now, if he's got any plans to cast that Dismember, it's not gonna be cheap. Sacrifice this to draw a card. Another unclaimed territory.
No help.
Nope.
It's still not cover.
3 mana. So the Renegade maybe? Yeah. It's got nothing to blow up. It'll grow Thai's Lieutenants. And you see Rosum engaging in one of my favorite activities, encroachment on the battlefield.
Yes.
Yeah. A Seattle special. Slowly, he's gotten more than half of the battlefield to himself now. And as he turns his creatures hopefully closer to Zan, to work himself towards about 70% of the battlefield. Eventually, Zan will actually be attacking from his lap. It'll be perfect.
There's elements of the Cali box out, elements of encroachment, elements of the grid.
Yeah, the grid. The grid is certainly.
Rosum is giving him all of it.
Yeah.
It's a multi-dimensional attack.
That's right. What is the Cali box out again?
It's putting your permanents around their permanents.
I need a refresher very quickly.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've heard that.
Yeah. Ken Ho, former Pro Tour champion, taught me
Got it.
the Cali box out.
Nice. That is nice.
The grid is just putting your permanents in totally random scattered about the battlefield.
There's your double block. Bunch of permanents are going to trade. Dark Confident actually off the battlefield now, so it's not so much about that anymore, apparently. 7-2. Yikes.
But, it's possible Manus Rider is just good here.
I don't think that's what he found. Well, he does have a Manus Rider now.
Yeah, we got a game.
Huh. Yeah. That actually could be good. Wow. Go the fly for 4 in the air? Huh. Then also has a copy of Reflector Mage, but I think I kind of like Manus Rider. He's going to go to Reflector Mage, though. It's going to bounce the Renegades. I think this is also totally reasonable, though it does die if Rosum draws his own Manus Rider now. So that's a problem.
But he would be hard-pressed to beat that anyway, because the Exalted triggers just force them in. It's not even a trade.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think you can play around Rosum drawing a Manus Rider at this point. He definitely doesn't have it in hand. You would have seen it by now. So.
Ooh, the attack. Getting aggressive. Exalted trigger means that Reflector Mage is going to be a 3/4. He's got 3 creatures back. Well, get busy winning or get busy losing. Well, Zan's trying to get busy winning.
He's played a really nice game here.
He's making what might be a pretty nice comeback. I will say that.
Still a ways to go, but if he can induce, and part of the reason he may have wanted to Reflector Mage this turn is he just might be playing around the Dismembers in the board too. He might think that his battlefield's good enough right at this point where he might be able to induce the Dismember on something else.
Okay.
And then your Manus Rider's in the clear.
Gonna see a little block. All right. Well, how awesome is Rosum? Is there a Mantis Rider just sitting on top of his deck? Make this easy for him? Nope. Dark Confident, huh?
You're not it. That's not it. So this attack coming in right now is for lethal with the Exalted triggers. So Syed has to do something.
So how we blocking? How we blocking? His Noble Hierarch is a 3/4.
So I think the Noble Hierarch is probably the worst permanent on the battlefield for Syed's side. Also, it frees him up to use the Staticaster on the Noble Hierarch should it be involved in a double block, should you draw a second copy of his Staticaster. So I like jumping with the Hierarch here.
There's one thing that's kind of interesting, which is, Dark Confidant, pretty bad draw because of Staticaster. There are also just a couple bad draws right now. Thinking about casting a Vial, but maybe not.
Well, it looked like he was about to cast Champion of the Parish.
I wouldn't do that either.
Can't do that in the face of the Staticaster. You can't
Nope.
can't play the Dark Confidant. Can't play the Vithian Raider because that got Reflector Mage the previous turn.
Renegade.
Excuse me.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, tough guy.
Yeah. Interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah, I am really surprised that Syed let the...
Okay. All right. Thought he may have
It
gotten
looked
there.
like we had gotten past
I
that
thought
point.
we
but
may have gotten there, yeah. Looks like we're on the second turn, extra turns now. Oh, there's Mantis Rider. Shoot that. Yep. Yeah, it's a pretty good attack. I mean, it's lethal.
Yeah, so I think from Rosum's side here, you have to chump block. You have to dismember the Mantis Rider and then
Hope to draw Mantis Rider.
Yeah, you draw your own.
Yep. I think I'm right there with you, partner. Hasn't drawn one yet, I don't think. Yeah, 'cause he can't rely on image now. I don't think. So yeah, block there. Dismember there. Take 4, go down to 3.
Yeah, I think this is his one shot at it.
Yeah. He's got other outs. He can peel image to image Reflector Mage. He can peel Reflector Mage, bounce Reflector Mage.
Sure.
He's actually got a lot of outs. Yep, there's image. Yep. Play this. Copy Reflector Mage, bounce Reflector Mage. That'll do it. Jonathan Rosum going to win this game and match here over Zan Syed. 2-1. The awesome Rosum, number 3 on the SCG Tour leaderboard with a timely top deck, moves on to 5-0.
For nothing but creatures, that game had a lot of play to it.
It did. It's a very creature-centric matchup.
And Syed was behind there. He was on the draw. He didn't have a Vial on turn 1. Rosum did. I think Syed played a really good game working himself back into it. But Rosum there drawing to Mantis Rider and Phantasmal Image and found something before dying on the way back.
Yeah, timely. And a nice draw, too. And, he set himself up in a situation, too, where enough outs.
Right.
It wasn't just Mantis Rider anymore. It was a lot more than that. So, big win there for Jonathan Rosum. 5-0 here in Columbus. And, his deck did look pretty good there. I mean, obviously it was a mirror and both players had the same deck list, stuff like that. But, I don't know.